here. You thought that 6 days plus 7, for those of you staying, you thought that 6 days was an enormous amount of time to spend with a trainer in a room, didn't you? How many of you thought that? Come on, truth. How many of you thought 6 days sitting on your ass? You're not on your ass, are you? Aren't you up? Aren't you down? Isn't there a relatively fair balance of up and down here? Oh, today you're going to be up and down like a jack-in-the-box. And this is an hour early. This is you coming from, so look, you just went from dead sleep to breakfast if you bothered to consume anything that had any nutritional content. And you're in here cold, right? That's the purpose of the video, to warm you up. Well, you don't get that warm up now. No, this is training. And this is the training that will impact your production. Financial production, emotional production, balance. How many of you went to bed a little too late last night? Truth. Come on, you're enjoying each other. How many of you are starting to fall in love, and I don't mean in a sexual way, but starting to fall in love and in like with some of the people here? Really starting to enjoy this community. This is your community. I did not bring you here to fall in love with me or in like with me. I brought you here to have a community that would support you, that would be of like mind and like intentions. And you'll hear me say that every day. Like mind, like intentions. Patricia, where do you find people on that wavelength? In Singapore. Good luck. Where do you find it in Malaysia? Where do you find it on the planet? A group of people this large, and I'll guarantee that 30% of you stay unified. That's amazing, by the way. 1% is considered, that's pretty good. 5%, incredible. 30% of this room will stay true to the group. What will happen with the other 70%? Will they fail? No. They'll use it in their life. It'll affect their self-esteem. It'll affect their connection. It'll affect everything you do. It'll affect the way you raise your children and act as a standard, a model of excellence, a paradigm shift for your children. This is the Twilight Zone, and it is not far from reality. Not far from reality. So Rod Serling had to conceive of this in his mind. How is it that one man was 50, 60, 100 years ahead of his time? How is it that this black and white television series was backed and built and directed and conceived and produced and orchestrated and edited by a visionary that saw things that today we don't see? How is that possible? Because he trusted his instrument. I will not let you ever miss a moment. You follow me?
The very first thing I can remember is another little child screaming when she looked at me.
Ever see a place, 307? Indeed I have. If it were mine, I'd bury myself in a grave someplace.
No change. No change at all.
Turn the lights.
Needle, please.
He's only a representative from the group you're going to live with.
Why do we have to look like this?
I don't know, Miss Tyler. I really don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Look at the person next to you. What do you begin to see here during wake? As you discover things about someone, you no longer see the way they appear. You begin to see who they are because they reveal themselves. True or false? Are you beginning to reveal yourself to people very comfortably, very intimately? Question, has anyone in this room revealed something to someone else in this room that you've never revealed to your wife or husband before? You think that's a crazy question? Raise your hand. Anyone? Has anyone discussed something they just don't discuss at home with their children, with their friends, with their family? How about with family? Things you reveal here because your family doesn't even know you. Your Your father, your mother, they don't know you. I got 3 kids. How well do I know my kids? Not very well. And how well do they know me? It depends. How interested are they? Not very. That doesn't mean I've done a bad job parenting. We got incredible children. We are very fortunate. And I do take credit to a great degree to how our children have turned out. The schools we put them in, the discipline that was implemented, watching and fostering their peer groups, and if I thought their peer group was dangerous, I moved. That's one way to change their friends. Move. True? Who agrees? Move their ass. You don't argue about it. You just move them. Because that's about the only way to do that. Did it work? I have 3 really healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally sound children who are pursuing their passion without compromise. And that's what you're supposed to be able to do in this lifetime. This is your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. You get 1 shot. You don't get a second shot. You think you do? Good. Keep thinking that. Maybe you'll come back in another iteration, but you won't be aware of it necessarily. Past life regression, I know all about it. My closest friend wrote a 1,700 book on it. One day, 1,700 pages. I'm in an elevator with George Kappas of HMI, a company that is accredited, college accredited, as the Modern Day Hypnosis Institute in Los Angeles, California. And this is the son of the man who wrote the book on modern day hypnotherapy. He completed his doctoral thesis, his PhD. And I said to him, so George, truth. You're a friend of mine. We trust each other. Truth. What do you think of this path life therapy? He says, people are very creative, particularly women. That's what he said to me. He said they are particularly creative, and the more they read, the more creative they are. I said, that's what you're telling me? He says, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. He says, I know more on this subject than 10 PhDs combined. This has been my life's work since I was 9 years old. I had a fascination with past life regression. I said, well, is it useful? He said, yeah, it's useful. The person believes, then the person receives. And if the person doesn't believe, the person receives nothing. Curtis quote et habis. What you believe is real in Latin. And so I want you to write that down. What you believe is real is real. And you think this is just the same right now? You want to know how to get the most out of this training? You want to know how to get the most out of what you're really going to get here? Because what you're getting here is a life-changing experience.
No matter what they say.
It changes the way you are perceived. What you believe is real is real. What is she saying? Words can bring me down. And so the quality of your languaging, the quality of your imagery, the quality of your personal branding. I had you capture an image with a camera. I don't care if it's your phone. Your phone is now a fantastic camera. Used to be a piece of garbage. Now it's fantastic. One instrument that does it all. Do you know how much I would pay for your cell phone? The cell phone you own today, 20 years ago. I was there at the beginning. You guys don't even understand. I was part of the original BlackBerry. I own a ton of that stock and I sold it at just the right time. I had the first prototype BlackBerry in the United States of America because I represented them in marketing. They were a cocky company. I didn't like those people. But boy, did we make money. And I remember sitting on an airplane and they said to me with a 2-line pager, they said, no one, the guy sitting next to me, a CEO of a major company, he said, no one will ever buy that. The keys are too small. No human being is going to want to take their thumbs and hokey pokey around on a paging device. Was he wrong? Was he wrong? How many hundreds of billions of dollars? iPhone, $43 billion in production. And so you look back here as we turn the lights on back here. You look back here, you see a screen. And what you see is just a task, and I ask you to do it, but you're not motivated. You're not inspired. You're just taking pictures like this, and 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 like this. But you're not taking them where you realize that they're going to make all the difference. You're not taking them where you realize they're going to become your brand. Who's seen me use my photos extensively in every possible way? And many of you think, oh, that's so egotistical. That's your friggin' brand. Write it down. It's called The Brand Called You. Patricia, it's The Brand Called You. If you're a producer and you want to produce more, you've got to be branded. You've got to differentiate yourself. Patricia needs to become with reoccurring frequency. Elizabeth Ho needs to become with reoccurring frequency. Jan needs to become. Jonathan needs to become. With Regina needs to become a brand. The brand called you. And so when I show you how to do a pose, it's not just showing you how to do the pose. It's not, come on up here. Who's already done this pose? Someone who's done a whole set. Who's done them all? Ah, but you're not dressed. Do you have a jacket on under that? Do you have a suit jacket on?
Yeah.
Kelvin, come on up here. Take off your winter coat. Boy, you guys get cold easily. It's remarkable to me. You get cold really easily. You know why you get cold easily here? Because you live in the heat. I live in Los Angeles, and even though it's hot, it's 109 degrees some days. We don't sweat because we don't have humidity. It's interesting. The humidity makes all the difference. Take off your badge, sir, just for a moment. Remember, when you come up here from this point forward, you take off your badge whenever you're performing from this point forward. That way it will look photographically when Q captures you, when David Schwab captures you. Because we're going to be capturing your content here. Oh, by the way, how many of you understand that we have, this is not lightweight. This doesn't get easier as we go on. This gets more intense. And I promise you, when you go to bed at night, you're going to go, oh my God, this is what life's supposed to be like. So if at any point you find yourself confused in a few days, or you feel yourself exhausted, or there's too much coming at you, it's because there's not enough coming at you in your life. It's because your life has become repetitive and predictive and calculable. Your life has become something that you're so used to that it's no longer surprising or revelatory. So embrace the new here. Or, I'll tell you the option. Do you understand that I can keep you guys completely focused for 1 year in this room? So let's pretend something right now. I want you to pretend something. Write down number one. Number one, we freeze time. Freeze time. Write that down. That means that all time is frozen. That means that everyone in the outside world, Singapore, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Bali, England, the continental contiguous United States, everywhere, South Africa, frozen in time. People are like this. They don't need to defecate. They don't need to urinate. They don't need to eat. They're frozen in time. And, write down number two, you don't need to eat and you don't need to go to the bathroom. Number two, I don't need to eat. I don't need to go to the bathroom. And I feel no pain. It means you are capable of sitting, standing, and moving, feeling no pain. Your body never atrophies. So time is frozen for everyone else on the planet. Time is frozen for everyone but you. And you feel no pain. And unlike college, we spend only 1 year together. I'm not doing this, by the way. I'm just giving you a concept. I'd like to do it. It's what I used to do. I used to take two people, charge them each $500,000, spend a year with them. At the end of the year, they had $1.2 million in their bank account. Their websites were built. Their brand was built. And the skill sets were unconscious competence. Every single thing I knew, they knew, and they could do it better. They could do it better because they didn't have to spend 30 years trying to figure it out. Does that make sense? Got a question for you. If you felt no pain and you didn't need money, write down number three, don't need money. Time is frozen. What are you going to spend it on? You don't need food. There's no need for consumption. Your body craves nothing. Oh, did I mention to you? Your body is composed for that 1 year of lean muscle. That doesn't mean bodybuilder. That just means clean. It means your connective tissue is balanced. It means your spinal column feels no pain. You don't need Dr. Carney for that 1 year. You don't need a doctor, period. Oh, and by the way, if you were prone for breast cancer or Crohn's disease or stage 4, it doesn't happen. It means for 1 year, you get a pass. No food, no bathroom. Oh, write this down. Number 4, no depression. And you will miss no one, because everyone is frozen. You won't miss anyone because you will be working on you so that when the new you emerges for them, you can take care of them financially, emotionally, and you have a sense of purpose and passion. I have a question for you right now. Stand up in the room if you would spend 1 year with me for free if those conditions existed. To work on you. So I got a question for you. Where would you rather be than here? Who would you rather be with than someone who's already done what it is you want to do, which is be understood, be appreciated. For some, to be revered, to be respected. I'm not talking about